Center for the Ethiopian Educational Information and Communication Technology presents Educational Satellite Television Programs.
Hello teacher, hello students. Welcome to today's lesson on coordinate axes and coordinate planes in space. We are going to learn more about coordinate systems and their use in determining geometric concepts in space. If you are ready, we will begin. Students, I am sure that you remember two-dimensional coordinate systems. For instance, you set up a rectangular coordinate system on a plane by using two straight lines that are perpendicular to each other, as we see here. You label them as the x-axis and y-axis respectively, and you use them to associate with a point. Let us extend this rectangular coordinate system. Rather than a perpendicular x and y-axis, we draw three lines, all perpendicular to one another. We will call this new line the z-axis. It is common to have the x and y-axes on a horizontal plane and the z-axis on a vertical plane, as we see in the diagram. The plane determined by the x and y-axis is called the xy plane. The plane determined by the x and z-axis is called the xz plane, and the y and z axes define the yz plane. These three coordinate planes let us plot any reference point in 3 dimensions. Generally, the positive side of the x-axis is coming out toward you, students. The positive y-axis goes to the right, and the positive z-axis goes up. Just like in physics, we can use the right-hand rule to remember this. A coordinate space with two axes is divided into 4 equal parts called quadrants. Since we now have added a new axis, we must divide our coordinate space into 8 parts instead. These sections are called octants. Let us imagine a point called P. If we want to locate P in space, we can specify its directed distances from the 3 coordinate planes. P's distance from the y-z plane is parallel to the x-axis. The distance from the y-x plane is parallel to the z-axis. Finally, the distance from the xz plane is measured along the y-axis. You see, students, we can use this method to plot a location in 3-dimensional space. The 3 distances from the axes are called an ordered triple. This is an ordered triple. Let us see how to locate point B in a coordinate system using these coordinates. First, we must draw a 3-axis coordinate space and label our axes. We will call the origin point O. Once that is done, we are ready to locate point B. Start from the origin O and move 3 units in the direction of the positive x-axis. Then, move 3 units in the direction of the negative y. Finally, move 3 units up in the direction of the positive z-axis to find point B. We have located point B, and the resulting coordinate space looks like this. Students, notice how the coordinates of point C, point D, and point F relate to point B. They all share at least one axis with the destination point. Taken together, they plot most of the corners of a cube. Now you see that it is possible to describe some geometric figures in space through equations. For example, the x-axis is the set of all points in space whose y and z coordinates are 0. The mathematical expression of the idea is expressed like this. Let us practice locating a point, students. Working in groups, please draw a 3-axis coordinate system marked x, y, and z. Mark unit numbers on the axes just like you did with 2-dimensional planes. When that is finished, locate point P using this ordered triple. Please, go ahead.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. If you used the same technique to locate point P as we did earlier for point B, I will bet that you had no trouble. Your graph probably looks like this. Well done. We have learned how to locate points whose coordinates are positive whole numbers. But we have not practiced fractions or negative numbers yet. We need more practice. Using the same coordinate system you used for the previous exercise, I would like you to plot these 3 points using their ordered triples. This exercise will help us understand the application of 3-axis coordinates. Please start now.
Students, let's get ready. Begin. Time's up. Let's get back to our lesson.
Welcome back, students. Did you manage to locate the points? The coordinates may look more complicated, but we get to treat them in the same way as positive integers. As long as you remember to make negative coordinates show up on the negative axes, the problem is made simple. Your coordinate systems should look like this. That is all for today's lesson, students. We have learned about plotting points in three-dimensional coordinate spaces. This will be useful for the next lesson, when we will learn how to find the distances between those points. Until then, thank you, teacher. Thank you, students.